1 Corinthians chapter 16. King James is good for this. From verse 15. Shortly, we want to remind ourselves the things we've always been taught. Let's read. Want to go? I beseech you. Tuko kwa screen sasa. Want to go? Tuongeze vizuri, turudie. Want to go? I beseech you. Turudie tena vizuri. Everybody want to go? I beseech. I beseech you, brethren. Ye know the house of Stephanas. That they have addicted themselves to the ministry of the saints. This morning, whatever we are sharing is daily addictions to develop. Daily addictions. Daily addictions. Daily addictions you need to develop. Apostle Paul is speaking to the church and he is telling you, ninawaomba brethren, or ninawasihi watu wa Mungu ya kwamba nyinyi mnajua nyumba ya Stephanas, that it is the first fruit. When I started the ministry, these are the first people that gave their lives and committed their lives to God. And that they have addicted themselves to the ministry of the saints. When we mention the word addiction, I know the first referral we have, it is when people are sent to a rehabilitation center because they have been addicted by things that are not good for their bodies and for the community. But I want to tell you, in the dimension of the spirit, there are so many important things that you will never attain the glory that God has bestowed there for you if you don't develop them into addiction. So this morning, simply what we are doing, we are presenting a checklist, daily checklist to us, that when you wake up, you can check, how much have I been addicted to this kind of a dimension in my spiritual life? How much have I been addicted? How much have I been addicted? For them to be a drug addict, they have to consume a lot of drugs. For them to be addicted to beer, lazima walewe mpaka ifike pahali ya kwamba pombe imekuwa nyingi kwa damu. So blood is lesser, beer is more. They have to smoke a lot of bangi so that caffeine in their system, it may take over their ordinary life and thought. So anytime they act, they are not acting as human being. They are acting as the addiction of caffeine in their system. For us believers and leaders, we have to develop certain things in the spiritual to addiction. Addiction. Ya kwamba we know we can never separate you from this thing. Ndio wewe useparatiwe na prayer, lazima wakupeleke in isolation where it is not impossible to make prayer. For you them to separate you with the word, lazima wakupeleke rehabilitation where you have no access. Not just an access to the word, but you cannot even remember even John 3:16. These are the kind of addictions we are speaking about. Now, Apostle Paul testifies about these people. He says, hawa watu si kwa sababu ni matunda ya kwanza peke yake. They are doing whatever they are doing because they are addicted. For him to have spoken like this about Stephanas, the house of Stephanas, lazima aliwapima na akajua these people with whatever they are doing, they are inseparable. addiction number one, that any morning you wake up, you need to check yourself. It is a checklist of evaluation. You have to be addicted to serving God. Service to God is the first addiction. First addiction. Service to God will come to us in two forms. There is who God is to you, and there is the things you do for God. That is service. We can explain service like that. The who you are, who God is to you, and the who you are to God, and the things you do to him. That is the definition of service this morning. Revelation chapter 2 verse 4, God is speaking about a church, and he is telling them, you people have appeared to me with the giftings, with everything good, but then you have forsaken the first love. It means you cannot serve God. The first addiction you need to develop in service to God is ensure that you love him day and night. Time to time, haujapotelea kufanya vitu, kumfanyia vitu. Haujajipotelea kufanya vitu kwa wenzako. You call yourself a meeting and you try to measure how much do I love God? How much do I love God? How much? How much? How much? You are able to measure. There are several things that will help you develop a measure, develop evaluation for love for God. Number one, how you refer to him. That is number one. How you refer to him. Do you refer to him, or do you consider to him as an option or as a priority? This one will help you know. Do you do things for God because you love him, or do you do things for God because you really love him? Is he a priority, or is he an option to you? Anybody that has fallen in love, we can ask Morey, is the recent one to fall in love. Anybody, you see, many of us to make a car, so we may mutuma tabindi akae sana kikumbuka. Kuna vitu mingi wezi kumbuka, but to him they are very fresh. Very fresh. Yeah. Anybody that has done that, what I've said, will tell you that whenever they spotted a person they loved, alianzia kukua a priority to them. Akuendelea kukua optional. An option. Yeah. Today, naweza pereka huyu out, nisipeleke huyu. The moment you get there, inakuwa ni huyu na ni huyu. Is it? Yeah. Yeah. So, service to God, does he appear to you as an option? When you have nothing else to do, is when you go to him. When you have nowhere else to get the help, is it the time you go to him because he is optional, or every time you refer to him because there is no other place you are in love with him as a leader? Number two, evaluation ambayo itakusaidia ya kwamba kuget if you really love him. How do you treat him? The Bible says that God is a spirit, and they that serve him needs to do it in spirit. So he knows how you're treating him. How do you treat him? Mungu anauliza ya kwamba, why do you take bad things to me? Yet the kind of gift you bring to me, you cannot even bring them to your heathen rulers. You cannot. So when it comes to treating him, tuseme God unampeleka out, God unampeleka hoteli. Mungu unamnunulia kiatu, Mungu unamnunulia nguo. How do you select the finest? Or how do you select? The way you treat him, the way you handle him in your life, it shows how much you love him. If you don't give him the finest, it shows you are yet to develop some addiction in loving him. Number 2 dimension of service, it is what you do to him. And in terms of your abilities and your giftings, how you serve him will also show and explain the kind of love you have with him. How? Do you serve him? Do you use your abilities, the giftings, to serve him when you are available? But do you serve him when he wants your services? Wakati kameiva, those of us who are in business, when there is a lot of business, do you still extend the hours of getting money at the expense of sacrificing how you serve him? All of there is a clear demarcation. Ikifika saa 12, even if they are bringing dollars, I will have to close down and go because God needs me at this particular time. Those of us who are doing career, have you gotten to a point, this will show that there is a serious addiction that has developed in you concerning service. That those of us in career, utapata ma overtime when you're supposed to be doing something for God. Remember, at this level, we are not talking about abilities. We are talking about how. Yes, how. Paul, speaking about the Stephanas, he says, before they served the saints, they were the first fruits. Kumaanisha wali dedicate everything they had to God, and then they began serving the saints. A serious addiction to develop. Psalm 84, David says, a day is better in your presence. That is Psalm 84 verse 10. For a day in thy court is better than 1,000. I had rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my God than to dwell in the tents of the wickedness. Is a king speaking. A king. A owner. He has gold. There is nothing. He is not looking for anything. Anything that pertains life, he has. He has the fullness of joy. He has the fullness of achievement. He has everything. But he says, the man is showing us the kind of addiction he has. Even if he is not given a throne in the house of God, akikuwa mfalme, he would rather be a doorkeeper. Yeah. Governor akikuja hapa, Asha wawezi mpeleka pale Deva Meketi. Lakini Deva alipewa kiti hapa na akaange siku hizi. Usipointe juu kwa sababu uko juu. Hebu tumpigie makofi akuja hapa karibu. Tutapiga tu hata ibada ishe mpaka ukuje. Tuendelee tu usiende kutafuta notebook kuja bila. Najua naona vile anajaribu kutafuta notebook. Kama hukuwa nayo au hukuwa nayo kuja tu. But next time be addicted to your notebook. Where are you? So, nilikuwa nasema hivi, if a governor enters this church today, we cannot take him at the back. Is it true? Is it true? Tutaona Pastor Manyara akiamshwa. Lakini saa hii, they cannot evacuate him from the seat. Tutaona wakiangalia ni nani tunaweza ondoa hapo, ni pasta zake kama ni nani? Ni nani tunaweza kuuza hapo. Because a governor has come. Now, a king over Israel, and the man that God has testified about, anasema ya kwamba he is my friend. ni mtu ambaye anafika as time anasema it shows addiction to service, ya kwamba he says for a day in thy courts is better than 1,000 days in the palace. Afadhali ile miaka siku moja tu kukua kwa uwepo wako God kuliko ile miaka naweza kuwa pali kwingine. And then anasema I had rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my God. Wacha hivyo, he is a king. I would rather come na nikuwe mtu wa a doorkeeper. A doorkeeper is not even an usher. An usher is a rank higher, very high rank. A doorkeeper ni like a watchman. In fact, kama sahi amelala asikizi banda. So David is saying, by the kind of addiction I have developed for God, I would rather be a doorkeeper. If they don't give me any other position of technical, if they don't give me any other position in praise and worship, if they don't give me a position of being an interpreter, I would rather be a doorkeeper in the house of God than dwell in a place, any other place that is not of God, a wicked place. It shows addiction. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the way you handle your attitudes towards services shows the level of addiction to things of God. Yeah. The kind, your attitudes, your perspectives, your behavior shows a lot the kind of addiction, the level of your addiction. If it is optional for you to go and you are not caught in a very demanding thing, then you can check the level of your addiction. Addiction number 2 that you need to develop, it is service to others. We are back into our text, 1 Corinthians chapter 16. After the house of Stephanus was addicted to God, being the first fruits, then the other thing they began doing, that they have addicted themselves to the ministry of the saints. Niangalieni tu hapa juu. Let me tell you, there is a day that will come. Today, you don't see as if you may require anybody. But there is a day that will arise. A day will dawn that you require everybody to you. This is what will happen. You will only reap of the people you served someday. Hiyo ndio utavuna tu. So, the day of your reaping as a minister, before you complain, nobody showed up. First of all, do the checklist. How many did I appear? If they came 10 and you discover you appeared to 8, thank God. Sorrow the complaint. Are we saying something? Be addicted to the ministry of the saints, because one day it doesn't seem as if you require anybody, but one day you require everybody, not somebody. Mavuno yako itakuwa ni wangapi ulitumikia. So before you evaluate, you do a party and nobody turns up, before you complain and get mad, nitahama your church, nitatoka in department. Look at how many people did you serve at their day. Check. Kevo aliniita, sikuenda. Fulani akaniita, sikuenda. Fulani akakuita, alikuwa na kitu, sikuenda. Fulani alikuwa na giving, nikasema anataka pesa sana. This and this happened, this and this happened. So when your day comes, because I tell you, a day that you need people more than anything else will dawn upon you. Will dawn. Yeah. Unless Yesu aguje kwako before hiyo siku ifike. That's the only thing can save you. But as long as it tallies, it is very important to be addicted to serving others. So don't complain, nobody gave me money. How many people do you give money? When you ask yourself, pastor, hata kama ulikuwa ame church, utaona unahitaji ukae na utubu hata kwa the idea ya kuhama. When you do this kind of evaluations, how much you are addicted to serving the saints, the day you want to quit the department, itakwambia, oh, you are still a child. Sit down and learn how to serve others first before you run away. The addiction to serve people, the saints. So Paul is testifying about this family. They love God first, and number two, they are addicted. Wakati kuko na shinda pale, tunajua fulani wako. Tukienda mahali, are you not surprised? There are people when there is kuna mambo imetokelezea pahali, there are people ukienda wakose utashangaa na kwa nini hajafika hapa? Is it? Wewe unashangaa ni kwa nini hawajafika, mbona haujakuwa addicted to serving others into an extent ya kwamba wewe mwenyewe ukijikosa utajishangaa. Yeah. You've not gone. Unashangaa, ala, na ni mbona mimi sijaenda kuserve so and so. Leave alone the people now. You see, hii ya watu kushangaa is a dimension ya kwamba you still need to put up your socks. But wewe ikifika a level that so and so akona issue, I need to go and encourage them. I need to sacrifice my 50 shillings hata kama anataka 1 million. Wewe mpaka ufike pahali ujishangae wewe mwenyewe. Why is not my 50 shilling among zile zingine zina contributiwa? It shows ya kwamba as a leader in the dimension of the spirit, there is a serious need for addiction. And let me tell you, serving others is not carnal. Serving others is a spiritual dimension. That's what the Bible says. That every day they used to meet in the temple. Yeah. And nobody lacked. Yes. Wale walikuwa na mashamba, walikuwa wanausha mashamba for the service of the church and for the service of others. It was a fellowship. Wale walikuwa na vitu, wangeuza vitu vyao ndio kusikua na mtu wa kukosa anything. So it is not a carnal dimension we are teaching. We are trying to show you that anytime you serve others, and let me surprise you, there is always a special place for the people who serve others. Yeah. Today, Stephanas had not driven any demon, but we can mention them because of the service to others. Today we could not be mentioning about Priscilla and Aquila if it is not for the service to mankind. If you want to create a book of remembrance, your name equal kwa jina ya remembrance, the first service that you need to do, it is to God, then the service to others. How are the people gathering up? Na wanaambia mtume ya kwamba you have to resurrect this woman. Lazima uresurrect Tabitha, kwa sababu usipomresurrect unless utushoneange nguo. Yes. Yeah. That's why aliingia kwa nyumba peke yake na akasema Mungu lazima ufufue huyu, because alikuwa anaona huyu mama the opportunity ambayo ako nayo. When you are addicted into serving others, when your time comes to be served, you don't dictate how you need to be served. They are the people who you've served before who come with parameters of your service. They developed. Wanasema ya kwamba concerning Mutuma hatuwezi mtumikia hivi kama wengine. Let me tell you, Pastor Manyara Sunday alisema hivi, nikubalieni. Na pastor, hata hiyo si kitu ya kuomba kukubaliwa, ya kwamba kama kuna muunduma anaoa na kuolewa nikwe nampigia ndebe. Hapana. Let me say this to us ministers, ya kwamba sisi ambao ni viongozi atupigianangi watu ndebe, kwa sababu kuna wale wakuu na kuna wale wachache. Hapana. Ndebe inapigiano kulingana na the way you serve others. Yeah. Hiyo ni mzuri sana, uambie mwenzako. Hebu mshike tu, msalimie. Mwambie ile siku debe yako itafika kupigwa, itapigwa kulingana na vile unapiganga za wengine. No, msalimie vitu nzuri, mwambie ile siku ndebe yako itafikia kupigwa. Before useme ni kemenyano. Unajua Pastor Manyara ndiye anaweza jipata kwa taabu tu kwa hii. Pekee yake ndiye anaweza. Sisi hatuko. But before ajipate kwa taabu, tunataka kusaidia ya kwamba msimsurubishe. Salimia mwenzako, mwambie ile siku itafika ya ndebe yako. Kwa sababu itafika. Ikipigwa usikie haijapigwa vya kutosha. Jiulize, unapiganga za wengine ya kutosha? Wewe sasa, kwa sababu inapigwa kulingana na vile unapiganga. Si ndio? Yeah? So, ikipigwa inaleta eko. Kama unasemanga nitaguza, ile siku yako itafikiwa iguzwe, improve ya kupiga ndio, kwa sababu utahitaji again. Ukihitaji again, kutakuwa na nini? Are we say something this morning? The third addiction that you need to develop, it is the addiction of learning. The addiction of learning. Give us Philippians chapter 3 verse 10 and Acts chapter 22 verse 10. The two scriptures very important. Acts chapter 22 verse 3 and Philippians chapter 3 verse 10. You will discover. Listen, after you have written, just look up. Apostle Paul, the encounter that he had on the way to Damascus was enough for him. Was enough. In fact, ndio aanzie kuhubiri, he had no other message. He was referring to the encounter he had. The first message. Anasema ya kwamba, it is him who appeared to me. Is it not him, the Lord, who appeared to me and he made me blind? That was the message he had. So the encounter transformed the inside and it changed him from the outside. And it was enough for him to continue like that. But Philippians chapter 3 verse 10, he says, that I may know him and the power of his resurrection and the fellowship of his sufferings, being made conformable unto his death. Hii scripture inamaanisha ya kwamba whatever made Apostle Paul so powerful in his ministry, it is the ability to learn the trait of Jesus. It is not enough for God to appear to you. You also need to learn how to walk in his ways. When he appears to you, he appears in power. But when you want to walk with him, then there are ways, there are certain things that you need to learn. So, that I may learn about him and the power of his resurrection. I want to discover, I want to know, what is this dimension that somebody will die and the third day he has risen? What is this? The power of his, what is this that made him endure the sufferings? Because as long as I'm following him, the same sufferings that came upon him, they are likely to come to me. Now, if I don't learn how to survive the sufferings, I will not be able to survive the sufferings. And then, and being made conformable unto his death. What is this that made him not complain even on the cross? What is it? Alisulubishwa akasema ya kwamba, Baba wasamehe, hawajui penye walikuwa na. Bahata yu jamaa aliweka mvinyo kwa kitambaa akamwekea. Do you want to tell me that guy yako anajua ni mvinyo anamwekea? He knew. It's only that they wanted to show the world that even this man you're talking about, hata yeye ni mulevi tukilewa. Yeah. Telling you the truth. They just wanted to show that. Hata yeye, si ati hawezi meza, anamezanga. Hata sisi, look, tumpatie uone atameza. Acts chapter 22 verse 3. Learning. You have to be serious learner. A serious learner. A serious learner. Let's read this one. Want to go? Tusome kwa bidii tafadhali. Want to go? I am indeed listen to this. You will never improve in an area you don't learn anything about. Your transformation, your results in any area, be it spiritual or physical, any area that you're not looking to sharpen your mind in, forget about your performance. You always perform. Let me tell you, if you want to be successful, don't follow people asking them about the secret of success. Follow them asking them, how have you never failed until today? It is when you avoid failure that you succeed. But as long as you know, as long as you've documented 1,001 points on how to be successful, but you've never known on how to overcome the failure, you will never succeed. Every time utakuwa na refer to 1,001 ways to be successful. 1,000. But are you willing? Do you know the commitment to shift from where you are to where you want to go? It is not by miracle. It is how much information do you have about where you're going. And before you get there, there is a lot to learn in the transition, because this is where people fail. This is where people miss it. People don't fail in career because the units they are standing are very tough. People fail because their learning ability is so down. They may be able, but the discipline, the habit of learning is very poor. Those of us who are doing business, don't run after profits. Learn how to avoid losses. If you avoid losses, you have profits. Don't get 100 per day and spend 80. How will you make profit? How? How? Yes, it's true. 800 is your profit. Clean money that came to you. But that day you spent 80. Will you be profitable? No. Profit is not what came out of what you've gotten. Profit is what has remained after all your recurrent and current expenses. So before you run after profits, $100 per month, learn how can I avoid and manage my losses. If you are able to bring down your losses down, then your profits will show up. Learn anything. It is very wrong. Let me tell you, one of the enemies of success in any field, it is the level of information you have. If you trade with wrong information, you're going to get wrong success. If you trade with minimal information, you're going to get mild success. If you trade with no information at all, you'll never see success. They succeeded. Success ahead. Because the information you are using is not enough to convert you into a successful person. Paul is saying, indeed I am a Jew born in Tarsus of Cilicia, brought up in the city of the feet of the great teacher of the law. Yeah. Do you know, brought in at the feet, This man was always under this man. He was a tutor. He was a lecturer. Yeye ndiye alikuwa anafunza sheria. Sasa, the kind of a person we see, the kind of the manifestation we see him manifesting it, ni mtu ambaye alikaa kwa miguu akasema ya kwamba siwezi toka hapa kama sijajua. Yes. Anaongea mstari, anasema that one is taken home. Anaongea ingine siku ingine, anasema until the day ilifika akatoka, then he says and taught according to the strictness of our Father's law. Strictness. Let me tell you, people of God, don't learn things that you want to learn. Learn things that you are supposed to learn. Usome vitu zile ambavyo unataka kusoma. Hapana. Soma zile vitu ambazo unahitajika usome. Under the strictness of our Father's law, and I was zealous towards God as you are all today. Yeah. Kuna siku ilikuwa inaambiwa weka jamaa Gamaliel anamwambia toka hapa. You're not learning anything. Go away. Again asema your teaching is very strict, but I will have to learn. Let me tell you. The strength that you have today, the physical strength that you have today is an effect of what you feed on. You feed on, right? Those that feed on light meal every time, what is their stature? They are light, like the meal they feed on. Is it? They that feel on every stuff every day, what is their stature? They are tough like their meal. Let me tell you, today, if you want to go with the eagles, learn what eagles learn. But as long as you continue learning what chickens learn, forget about the category of eagles. If you want to run like a cheetah, spend decades running with a dog, you will always see there is success ahead. Because you want to learn what you want. You don't want to learn what is a requirement. So many people are in the level they are, spiritually, financially, whatever level they are, because they have said, we cannot learn beyond this. I cannot pray more than 2 minutes a day. Why? Pastor Zakwa Chara aombe usiku yote, yeye ni pastor. What makes pastor succeed as the ability to make whoever will not be given a title in this life succeed. We don't succeed because of offices. Nobody succeeds because of the assignment. Nobody succeeds because of who they are. Somebody succeeds because of the information they are able to convert into variable things for destiny. There is something that will ever trouble you until you learn. There are people that will ever be an offense to you until the day you learn. You learn. So this morning, tap somebody and tell them, be addicted to learning. Learn about service. Yeah. Service si kutokelezea asubuhi. Tunafikanga 6:30. Sasa 6:30 unatokelezea. No. Service is about proper preparation before you appear. What kind of preparation had you done? What is service? Angalia mwenzako muulize, by the way, what do you do for life? No, mtap kidogo tu muulize, what do you do? For those of us who have not started, what do you want to do? Before muulize sasa jua kama ameanza ama ndiye anataka kuanza. Ndio ujue utamuuliza, what do you do or what do you want to do? Hebu muulize, talk to somebody, muulize, what do you do? Yeah. Muulize sasa mwambie sasa your success is tied to the level of learning. Yeah. Let me say this as I walk out away from that point. If you want to be tough, train with the tough. If you want to be named among the generals, train like a general. Don't train like a corporal. Even if you are a corporal today, train like a general. When an opportunity to enter into the position of a general comes, they will wonder, why have you remained with the corporals all this long? And your qualifications are that of a general. Number 4, as I conclude, be addicted to fellowship. Be addicted to fellowship. The fellowship of believers. Yeah. The fellowship of believers is the fellowship of God. It's not a fellowship of people. He says, wherever 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I am. Hey, talk to me. Wherever 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I am. Oh, Jehovah. Wherever 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I am in their midst. I am in their midst. So the fellowship of people is the fellowship of God. You cannot separate God. No, unless kama wamekusanyika kwa siasa, hiyo si mkutano fellowship ya believers na si fellowship ya God. But kama tu wamekusanyika in the name of God, then it is a fellowship of God. Look at this. David says that I was so glad. I was glad the day they told me, let us go into the. Mimi nafikiria David angesema ile siku jamaa watatu walivunja kambi ya Wafilisti wakaniletea maji. Hiyo siku ndio nilifurahi nikijua niko na wanaume. But he says, the day they told me let us go into the house of God, that is the day that has ever brought joy until today. Be addicted to fellowships. To fellowships. Never miss a fellowship. Anytime there is an opportunity for a fellowship that has gathered in the name of God, no, it is an opportunity for you to be built up. Yeah. Yeah. Even if it is a prayer meeting, it is a giving fellowship, whatever manner of fellowship it is, no. Jua ya kwamba it is an opportunity for you to get better things, to become better. Si bahali ya kukuja kupass time, hapana. Si bahali ya kukuja kwa sababu you didn't have any other place to go, hapana. In fact, instead it is better for you to come in the house of God and in the fellowship rather than go in bed because you're not feeling well. Kwa nyumba, you will have to really brood an atmosphere that will bring healing to you. In a fellowship, even if you had no atmosphere, there is already an atmosphere of God that can make you healed. 4 addictions. And the last one I mentioned and I will not talk much about. The 5th addiction. Ni 7 of them. You will not tick every Monday and evaluate how much are you addicted, but today we finish at 5. The 5th addiction is be addicted to the lifestyle of prayer. Be addicted. Tusimame. Ukimaliza kuandika tusimame. So let's have some sign. Can I tell you something? If you have not achieved what you have been praying for, your prayer is not yet enough. Can I repeat that again? If you have not yet attained what you started praying for, your prayer is still wanting. If you've not really become the man you wanted to become by prayer, you've not yet started praying. Napo ndio nataka tumalizie. Salimia mwenzako muulize, ukiangalia maombi yako na ile maono iko mbele yako, umeanza kuomba ama unahitaji uongezee? Amekwambia aje? Kuongeza. Yes. If you've not yet become the man you ever wanted to become by prayer, you have not started praying. If you've not gotten whatever you've been working towards, then your prayer is still small. You need to pray more. You need to pray more. Every day, get addicted to prayer. Lift up your both hands and lift up your voice to the Lord and begin. We have 5 points on the screen. Begin to tell the Lord to help you, to help you, to help you in those 5 dimensions. Yeah, service. Go, God. Make me addicted to your service. Make me addicted to service of others. Make me addicted to learning. Yes, I want to learn about public relations. Sitaki kukaa kwa watu nikisema kila wakati mimi ni introvert. No, I want to learn how to associate with people. It is the day ile siku utafika, si watu ambao ni extrovert or introvert watakuja kwako. All men needs to come to your rescue. Lift up your voice and tell the Lord, Father, help me. Yes, I expect somebody to be so vibrant, so intentional on this prayer. Lord, help me. Help me, Lord. Help me to be addicted to fellowship.